Hi guys, Iron Cameraman here. According to Boom, in episode 80, we're going to see a strong and powerful character. But who could it be? Right now, the Alliance isn't in the best shape, but they're starting to take the first steps toward an even fight with the Astro Toilets. Just look at the Speaker Army with the new Semi-Titan who destroys those Astros that even the TV Man Titan had trouble with. And don't forget about the Speaker Titan and his upcoming return to the battlefield. We also have G-Man, who has massive potential in the fight. Not to mention the new upgrades for regular agents. If Simp got an Astro Coil and new abilities, then the rest of the Alliance might get similar gear soon. And since the Astro Toilets are acting really dumb in this war, constantly underestimating the Alliance, it's only a matter of time before the agents take the lead. I'd even say that will happen in part 2 of episode 79, when G-Toilet and the Speaker come to save the Cameraman's base. That means the Astros need a new ace up their sleeve, and I think I know who that might be. The Duke. Yeah, you heard me. He's probably the one who will show up to crush the Alliance resistance once and for all. But how and why? That's what we'll talk about in this video. We'll also cover the possible death of the Watchman of Doom, and more importantly, why it'll likely happen in part 2 of episode 79. Before we start, hit that like button and subscribe if you want the episode to drop faster. According to a recent update, it's not even halfway done. IBO also mentioned that it's because of Boom's personal stuff, not because he's taking a break. Let's wish him luck dealing with it. Anyway, here we go. Let's start with the Duke. How and why would he come to Earth? Boom said that a very strong character will appear in episode 80. It's probably not going to be anyone from the Alliance, since all the strong heroes are expected to show up in part 2 of episode 79. Also, don't forget about the Speaker Army, which is going to take the lead for the next few episodes. As for the Astros, the only truly strong characters they have left are the Duchess, the Watchman of Doom, and Juggernaut. And Juggernaut might even switch sides to the Alliance soon. Considering the Duchess might be harmed in the next part of episode 79, even with all her strength, she probably won't be able to take on both G-Man and the Speaker Titan, especially if some of the Speaker Army shows up to help. So, the Astro Toilets don't have many chances to win, and as we know, the Duchess is the Duke's wife. No way her husband is going to just ignore what's happening. Most likely he'll come to Earth right around episode 80, especially since the UFO isn't doing so great at taking over the planet. It's already failed a few times to catch or destroy G-Toilet. Remember that extra scene from season 25, where it was speeding at full throttle to make it in time for Juggernaut versus G-Man fight? That's why we can assume the Duke personally wants G-Man dead and will decide to handle it himself. Also, don't forget, the Duchess might actually be G-Toilet's lost daughter. If they meet in the upcoming part of episode 79, it could shake her trust in the Astro Toilets. Or maybe she, like Jugger, will start to doubt things. And if the theory that the Astros are controlling her and keeping her on a leash is true, then after seeing her father again, that control could weaken, and that would be a signal for the Duke. Time to step in before G-Man slips away and takes others with him. Now, about the possible death in part 2 of episode 79. Boom said someone important will die in this episode. There were many guesses, from completely minor characters to even the possible death of the camera woman. Even though at the end of part 1 it seems like it's over for the camera woman and the other cameramen, since the Watchman of Doom used the red glow, it's probably not the case. Let me put it simply. The cameraman race has already lost their main heroes who were with us almost since the very beginning and basically represented the entire heroic front. Of course, I mean Titan Cameraman and Plunger Man. So it would be really illogical to also remove the camera woman, who's now basically the new leader of the cameramen and the one continuing Plunger Man's legacy, especially since Boom only just started to develop her as a character. There were also guesses that the Polycephaly TV man might die, and that's possible. Some mentioned someone from the G-Squad too, and that can't be completely ruled out. But the G-Squad has only just started to show their personalities and gained some individuality, so their death doesn't seem likely yet. But the one really under threat is the TV man Titan. Let me explain why. Right now, he's under the control of the core lover, who, according to Boom, fully pierces the core, meaning it reaches straight to the Titan's center. That makes it much more dangerous than any of the previous skibidi parasites. Like I said before, it's very hard to remove this kind of tech without damaging the Titan himself, because the core is the Titan's heart. It gives him both power and energy. And if the core itself is infected, freeing the Titan without destroying the core is almost impossible, which means total death. You might argue that G-Man could help the Titan by removing the parasite, since he used to be part of the Astro Empire and probably knows how to get rid of it. But I think G-Toilet, while smart, isn't all-knowing. So the chance that he knows how to deal with this core lover isn't 100%. And besides, I doubt the Astro Toilets would have equipped the Watchmen of Doom with such a weapon if it were that easy to remove the parasite. That would be very stupid. Let me remind you that when the skibidi toilets infected the Speaker Titan, they barely improved him. They just added a second cannon, which seemed even weaker than the first one. So if even the skibidi toilets realized that, then the Astro Toilets definitely understand it too. And they're acting in a way to make sure that if the Watchman of Doom is captured, he won't fall into the hands of the Alliance alive and upgraded. How will he die in Part 2? I think G-Man and Titan Speaker Man will try to free TV Man Titan from the core lover, but the Astro Interceptors and the Duchess herself will get in the way. G-Toilet will completely shift his focus to his daughter after seeing her again after all this time, and he probably won't be able to help the Speaker Man Titan free the Watchman of Doom. And if things get dangerous, the Astro Toilets are unlikely to retreat with the Watchman. After all, he's a former enemy who got in their way, and honestly, they don't really need him. Plus, the Alliance, as we've seen, probably can't help him either. So he'll fight until the very end, and the Speaker Man likely won't have the strength to hold him back. As we know, the Speaker Man Titan was never really known for brute strength. He mostly relies on long-range weapons, agility, and speed. Like Boom said, that's his main feature, and that's what the story will highlight. We've seen that raw power is pretty much useless against the Astros. They're quick and tricky, so right now, the Speaker Man Titan is the most effective weapon against them. But he won't be able to restrain the TV Man Titan. He's simply bigger and stronger. That's why he'll have to kill the Watchman of Doom so the Alliance can safely use transmissions without being tracked and get into a better position overall. Yeah, it means losing a Titan, but better that than letting him fall into Astro Toilet hands. And my main point for this theory, I really doubt Boom would repeat the whole infected and then rescued Titan arc again. Doing it a third time would just be tired and cliche. A more likely outcome is the death of the TV Man Titan, sad as it may be. And if we consider the possibility that the Duke might show up in episode 80, then it makes sense that the loss of the Watchman and the serious injuries to the Duchess would be what triggered his arrival. But all of this would be way easier to explain if we had at least some spoilers. After episode 79, we haven't gotten a single leak or spoiler yet, but Boom did tell EBO75 that he's been working on the episode for about 12 days already. I really hope whatever was stopping Boom from working on the episode gets resolved soon, and that within the next couple of weeks, we'll finally get to see the next part of episode 79. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the breakdown. See you soon.